Good evening, everybody.
Yes, good evening. We're back again tonight.
Good evening. Happy Sunday. Hope you had a good time in church today. We did. We had a good time today. Great
Awesome
word.
time.
Awesome time.
Mhm.
How was your Sunday? How was service? How was choir administration? How was praise and worship?
Special number.
Special number, the word. Hope it came timely to you.
Yes.
So it's today is the what now?
7, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 7. Day
Seven.
7.
Day
Wow.
7 of our love and devotion sessions.
Yep.
Mm.
So we had a good ride from the very first day. Yes. We're going to do a little recap again. From the very, very first day, we talked about love not just being a feeling, but love is a commitment, love
Yep.
is a choice. Because one of the most deceptive words in the world that we know is the statements when you say falling in love. When you fall in love, you can fall out of love. So love is not a feeling. Love is not butterflies in your stomach. Love is not sweeping you off your feet. Love is not at his 6 packs or his physics. No, it's physique. Love is beyond all of that. Love is not just a feeling. Love is a commitment. Love is a conscious decision. So love is all that.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we went on to talk about encouragement. You must be your spouse's biggest encourager, not
Yeah.
their biggest critic. Because we have heard people say over time, my spouse is my biggest critic, and then they say it like a compliment. It's actually not a compliment. As much as you constructively criticize them, you must be their biggest encourager. We went on from that point and we talked about secrecy,
Yeah.
not being open, not being totally transparent to your spouse for one reason or the other. Some people try to give good reasons and say, I know my wife, she cannot handle this information, so it's just better I keep it. And we looked at it, x-rayed it, and we came out with the fact that it's not really true. The point is, you are the one dealing with some things,
Issues. Yeah.
self-esteem, whatever it is, but you really don't have an excuse for keeping things away from your spouse. It creates a lot of problems, a lot of issues. We know how men who die and their families don't know what they are worth.
Yeah.
The other time we read an article of how banks have kept back billions because the wives cannot claim it. They are not named as next of kin.
Yeah.
They don't even know something like that exists. Not even talk about being next of kin. And then, of course, the husbands die and they don't know. And then those monies just go to the bank. And some of these people suffer. The children cannot continue school just because the man is trying to be smart. You don't know when you're going to go. That's to an extreme. But generally, secrecy should not be encouraged in marriage. We did that for 2 days, and then we came to supporting your spouse, always being there. You may not have the money to give them. You may not be able to solve their problem, but let them just know that you are there. They have a shoulder to cry on. Let them come back home to support. Be their biggest support system. Let them just be there for them. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, just be there for them. Yesterday we talked about flirting, and I'm just going to say the statement and then we'll go for what we have today. Never stop flirting with your spouse, and never start flirting with anyone else.
Yeah.
That was what we did yesterday, and we talked about it extensively. And then today we're delving into something else, not so far from what we started yesterday, talking about habit and flirting. And I did say it can become a habit that you build. You may not be that romantic type and all of that. You can build it actually. It keeps the marriage going, it keeps it fresh and all of that. So let's just delve into what we have for today. But we have to sing, right? We have to sing before we delve into it. So
it's your turn to sing. No, don't do that.
I say turn by turn.
It's turn by turn.
It's turn by turn.
I sang yesterday. Sing.
No, no, you're the choir.
Lord, thank you. Sing, sing, sing.
No, thank you.
Sing now.
Okay, let's just have a time of worship wherever you are. If you're listening to this, this is actually designed for married people, but it's okay. We'll keep saying it for those young people who are joining in. It's perfect. It's beautiful because there's a lot you can learn so that you clear the way before you come into marriage.
Yeah.
Many of us got into marriage before we realized a lot of things, and we would have saved ourselves a lot of trouble if we knew better.
Lots of prayer points.
Yes, so it's okay that you're here if you're not married. So let's just worship for a few minutes and then we'll get into our talk for today. We're going to be here till 9:45. So invite your friends, invite married people, invite married people that have confided in you that their marriage is about to hit the rocks, like they are complaining, they don't know what's going on, they can't take it anymore. Just invite them to come and watch, okay? Don't tell them I said so. Just invite them to come and watch. All right, so let's just worship. There's an old song coming to mind. It's actually like a hymn. It's actually like a hymn. There is none holy as the Lord. There is none besides thee. Neither is there any rock like my God. There is none holy as the Lord. There is none holy as the Lord. And there is none besides thee. Neither is there any rock like my God. There is none holy as the Lord. There is none holy as the Lord. There is none holy as the Lord. Okay, that was it. No, sorry, funny. While we're singing, I remember how we used to sing that. Neither is there any. All right, let's jump into what we have for today. Yep.
Okay, what's that? Okay, so for today, are we starting here? Your habits will shape your marriage. So keep the right habits and quit unhealthy habits. Your habits will shape your marriage. So keep the right habits and quit unhealthy habits. Right? I go on?
Go on.
Okay, so keep being thoughtful. Keep writing love notes. Keep doing the things you did at the beginning of your relationship and adding new marriage building habits to the old ones.
Yep.
All right? Don't let your marriage go on autopilot. You don't want to talk?
I'll talk. Go on.
Because anything left on autopilot will eventually crash. Remember that consistency is the most powerful force in a marriage. Make sure you are consistently doing the right things.
Wow. Beautiful. You know, this is no news. I'm sure most of us attend marriage seminars, we attend those, and they tell you, bring back the spark. You know, some of the things you used to do when you were courting, barbecue nights, suya nights, the Jevenik.
Remember, I was my big Jevenik, like you said, would have become so.
Oh my God, we have become shareholders. They knew us in every Jevenik branch.
I'm telling you, Port Harcourt, Owerri.
They just knew us. You should just enter the whole. It's like we're part of the family. You know, so all of that used to work. You sit there, you talk, you chat, you bond, and then now that you're married, the law of see finish, you allow it to set in. You don't do those things anymore. You know, that's what we're saying. That, you know, those things that you did, be consistent. Don't drop it because you're now married. Now that's a healthy habit. You know, schedule it. I'll always say that, schedule it. Even if it's once a month, Let there be a day out. If you can do once a week, if you can do once in 2 weeks, just have date nights, have movie nights, schedule it. You know, you both will begin to look forward to it after all the busy schedule, after all the tension, after all the quarreling, after all the, you guys must put a rule. We must not, no matter how much we fight, Thursday night is movie night. So after all the quarreling and you know that you guys are going to watch a movie together, and then all the tension is just going to fizzle out somehow. You guys are going to laugh and fall on each other and remember, and then look at each other and we go, no problem, go through the motion, but you know that the tension will come out. So he's saying, keep being thoughtful, keep doing that, keep writing. You used to write love notes when you guys were dating. Don't stop. You know, do those things. Don't let your marriage get on autopilot. Don't take your hand off the steering. Now that people are married, like I said, when you allow the law of see finish to set in, at some point you just take your hands off the steering, and then you're saying, husband is saying, no, madam will do it. Madam is saying, everything is in me, African man, everything, woman, you pray. Today you are the one, you know, all those kinds of things. So before you know it, both of you leave the steering. Marriage is hard work. Yes. If you want to have a good marriage, you have to work hard at it. Be consistent with building those little, seemingly inconsequential habits. It's those things that you're stopping that is bringing all the problem. Okay? So it says, don't let your marriage get on autopilot, because anything that you leave on autopilot with, it will eventually crash. Nobody is steering the ship. It will hit the rocks. Remember that consistency is the most powerful force in a marriage. Make sure you are consistently doing the right things. Yes, I'm going to read something else. The little things in marriage can make a big difference. Now we're just talking about being consistent, not just in doing the right things. Small acts of thoughtfulness done with great consistency can make a massive positive impact in a marriage. The other way around, seemingly small negative actions or habits can erode intimacy and eventually stifle a marriage altogether. So watch out for those little foxes that seem relatively harmless. My wife posted something today, a story about a lady who eventually got into a romantic relationship with her pastor, but it started with innocent conversation. Then they'll talk about church, talk about family, and then before you know, conversations started happening every day. They both knew that was unhealthy somehow, even if they were not talking about anything else. And then someday, of course, romance pops up. Yeah, at the end of the day, they didn't have sex and all of that, but they had romance. They talked about it over the phone, and somehow the pastor was asked to resign. She was asked to leave the church. Marriage, eventually the husband, of course, forgave her. She started becoming open, telling him everything. And then you see little seemingly, harmless habits. That's how habits form. Little, just little. You know the guy is flirting with you. You don't nip it in the bud. Before you know, you begin to enjoy it. From the first day he flirted with you, you knew. From the first day she flirted with you, husband, you knew that this person was flirting with me. You didn't just nip it in the bud. Well, it's harmless. Well, it's not going to affect me, and then you let her continue or you let him continue. Over time, you begin. Everybody loves attention. Everybody loves to be noticed. Everybody loves to be told that they are attractive. You are human. You have blood flowing through your veins. You understand? So if you don't nip it in the bud, over time you're going to begin to enjoy it, and that could lead to. We don't even want to know.
So, but that's a healthy habit that should be built between
spouses. Yes, that's we talked about it yesterday. Flirting, it should be built between both of you. But when it's coming from elsewhere, kill it, shoot it, just shoot it, murder it straight ahead. So watch out for those little foxes that seem relatively harmless. Don't let them weasel their way into your home. Protect your marriage from negative thoughts. Oh, that's the biggest one. Negative influences, negative habits, or negativity in any size or form. Negative thoughts. That's where the biggest battle is in our minds. Nobody knows. Nobody's seeing it. You're thinking about it. You're, like I say, you can't stop a bird from flying over your head. If it perches, of course, you can hit it. You can, but when a bird lands on your head and you don't do anything about it and you allow it build a nest, That's how thoughts are. It can hover, let it hover, but of course, once it just tries to perch, hit it out. That's how you deal with thoughts. The scripture said, you should bring them under subjection. That's our battle is in our mind. When the Bible says, I'm trying to remember the exact scripture now, spiritual wickedness in high places, talk about all of those things against thoughts that exalt itself against the knowledge of Christ. So the battle, this part, the angle of thoughts is a very strong one. Don't allow negative thoughts, to make you, because your thoughts are you. The things you think, you begin to act them out, and that becomes your character. Little habits, little by little, you think about it, you don't deal with it. Before long, you are going to start doing something about those thoughts, and that builds into your character. You understand? And character, unlearning character is it's much more difficult than building character. Much more difficult, yes.
Because it practically be like this.
Yes.
For as long as,
like they say, like learning to change your hand. If you're a right-handed person, now you want to become left-handed in old age. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. There's still all of that. So if you have built all of these things over time, yes, it's possible. You can start to unlearn it. Now, how do you unlearn negative habits? You just replace them with good ones. It's hard work. It's not easy. I'm just saying it, but it's not easy. But it's possible. If you really, really, really want to make your marriage work, you want to make your home, maybe you're already hitting the rocks, but two of you want it. You want it. It's hard work. It's time to fold your sleeves and get to work. So what do? You replace bad habits with good ones. You replace bad habits with good ones. There are people like that. You're not romantic with your wife. But the girls out there know you as one Bobo, Johnny Walker. They know you as very you're good with the girls. You're good with words. You're good. You're just good. You know how to chide. You know how to toast. But with your wife, you're roaring lion of the tribe of your house. So what do you do now? Transfer that your social whatever into your home.
Well, that depends. Like you said earlier, if they want to make the marriage work.
Yes, of course. That's why I say you want it to. Of course, why shouldn't you want a marriage to work now? God hates divorce. Like we always say, except it's abusive and you know that you shouldn't stay there and die while somebody is beating you or making you go crazy psychologically. Abuse is not only physical, it can be mental, it can be verbal. Verbal abuse can drive you to commit suicide. Some people's mouth is really toxic. So if the marriage is really abusive, no, you shouldn't stay there. But otherwise, every other problem, that it can be solved. I say it, I tell my wife, I tell everybody who's close to me, there are no irreconcilable differences. There are only selfish differences. Okay, so no matter what your differences are, if the two of you want it to work, you can forgive, you can forget, even if it's adultery, that is permissible grounds by the Bible to divorce. If two of you want it to work, you can forgive each other, stop it, and move on. I know that for a fact. You can, if the two of you are not selfish and you want it to work. Okay, so there are no irreconcilable differences, only selfish differences. So be selfless no matter what it is in your family, in your marriage, except it's physical abuse, except it's abuse that you know that this one is going to cause death or something, then no, that's a no-go area. But any other issue, I'm sure you can solve. So why shouldn't you want it to work? So get to work, change the negative habits. Don't keep blaming the other partner. Take your responsibility. Let your partner take their responsibility. Both of you have to make it work. Both of you have to make it work. So exchange the negative habits with good habits. I was trying to just give an example of you flirt outside with the side chicks, but with Madame, she knows you as one, no nonsense, straightforward person. So if you want your marriage to work, why not? You already know how to romance. Transfer it. Stop giving it out. Bring it into your home. Yes. Replace giving it outside and replace it with bringing it into your home. We hear lots of, since we've been talking about these things, we hear a lot. I went somewhere earlier this evening and I heard a pastor preach about a man who had a side chick. And then they had this plan that, okay, today we're just going to stay home. We're not going to go to a hotel. The man went to the lady's house. He was supposed to give her money to cook they'll watch movies, eat, and then do every other thing that they would usually do. And then the man gets there, he had some financial issues, so he gets there and he just tells her, babe, money no today, or just use this 10K, see what you can cook up, let's have fun. Of course, she got angry, 10K for what? And all of that. So she said, no, she can't. What will she do with 10K? Is it to buy fuel for the gen or what? Complain. The guy added 5K, make it 50. And she said, bros, if you were going to take me to a hotel, the hotel is it 15K? You know the kind of places you take me to now. You're bigger than this. Eventually, your guy made it 20K, but she got angry and threw the money at him. That it's not a serious person. It's that, just got upset. So, like, something just dawned on him. I just explained to this person that I have issues. She's not concerned about all of that. All she's thinking about is what we're going to do now. Why can't she manage? Why can't she know something? So the guy took his money, but she said, if you don't want to stay, go. Took his 20K back. On his way back home, he stopped somewhere, bought snacks of about 8K, and then went back home. From when he pressed the horn and the wife opened and saw him, you said you were going to be out all day, you're back early. Oh, thank God, we're going to have daddy today. And of course, he started like, see, this one is even excited to see me. And then he's watching. When he gets inside, he brings out the bag of snacks. She was so excited, 8,000 just for snacks. This is too much. You need the money. Oh, why? Oh, the children came, everybody were celebrating. So Oga started crying like, see, at the end of the day, holiness and faithfulness is cheaper. That was his conclusion. Holiness and faithfulness is cheaper than having side chicks. 8K, Madam and her children are celebrating to high heavens. The other one threw 20K back at him because she didn't care. She didn't want to know about responsibilities. But that's even a story. There are side chicks that are caring, that are doing all of that. So will you use that as a yardstick to be unfaithful? No, you shouldn't. Okay? So we just brought in all of those stories to let you know that, make your marriage work. Transfer all the smooshy, lovey-dovey, whatever you do outside, bring it in. I'm sure Madam also appreciates it. And if Madam is watching too, Madam will also adjust. Both of you need to adjust so that this marriage can work. But small acts of thoughtfulness done with consistency. What we're focusing on today is consistency. Build habits, good habits. Be thoughtful consistently. So that, yes.
I think over time, like you said earlier, that see finish thing comes in there a lot, and sometimes it's like when you want to do all this, it's like, why we don't pass this stage? What's all the but if you want to make your marriage work, like we earlier we read in the devotional, it has to be an intentional work. We said, was it the first day or the second day? We said something. We were asking each other, do you feel married? My pastor usually asks me, like, when you wake up in the morning, do you feel married? Like, over the years, it's like, you don't wake up and
feel like
Mrs. You're just you. But you're in this, so it has to be an intentional work. You wake up in the morning and there's that man right beside you. So you have to be intentional about making it work. So it will pay you. It might not be what you like to do, but there are habits that will make your marriage work. There are just a few habits. Some of them, he already talked about them while he read, that will make your marriage work. Okay? You make a point to connect every day. I think you mentioned that, or was it yesterday? When we're talking about flirting. Make a point to connect every day. Couples who are in it for the long haul find little ways to stay physically and emotionally connected, even on busy days. Right? So it's important, even when you're busy, find ways to connect, find ways to
there's other things too. Ways to connect that might mean going in for a nice long haul, listening attentively while your partner is venting.
Not looking at
your phone when they're talking. Or offering words of affirmation.
Not looking at your phone when they're talking. Why do you look at me?
Why do you look at your phone when I'm talking to you?
Look at her.
Why do you look at your phone? And I'm listening. I'm listening.
On international TV.
You say I'm listening, but you're looking at your phone.
But
I can hear you.
You do that. You do that. Okay, but then you need to listen. You need to listen.
pay attention while they are venting.
They need to know that you're listening. Truly, when you're looking at your phone, when somebody is talking to you, it's actually
it's offensive.
It's offensive. It doesn't feel like you're listening. Yeah. Even when you say you're listening, no, I can hear you now. I can, it doesn't feel like that. Okay, so offering words of affirmation and encouragement. We talked about encouragement and affirmation together. So that keeps you guys connected. Okay. So secondly, set aside time to regularly check in with each other.
Yeah.
Okay. While life gets hectic, couples often switch into autopilot, like you read earlier. As we get busier, children come. There are things to. We don't marry, children don't come. All these things. And then you want to let things work by themselves. Wake up in the morning but they don't. If you want your marriage to work, it has to be intentional. In fact, like Afi said yesterday, even if you need to schedule them, set reminders on how to. You can be happy. You can be happy married. As in, it's very, very possible. We make some people make marriage seem like, I don't know what word we use to people who are not married. Some people are so scared to get married because of the way they've seen some people dry and they look like,
like marriage is one imprisonment.
No,
in a Nigerian prison, not in abroad prison. Like marriage is imprisonment in a Nigerian prison.
You can be happy through many challenges. I know so many homes have their lots and lots. That's why we say it's intentional. So through the things people are going through, it's an intentional thing. So set time regularly check up on each other.
Yeah.
All right. The next one.
Yeah.
They know how to say sorry and mean it. They know how to say sorry and mean it. Some men don't know how to say sorry. Men.
It's not about men.
Wait, first, let me just talk about men. They don't know how to say sorry. As things can happen and they can buy you sweets, buy you drinks.
That's their own sorry.
No.
That's
sorry,
people.
Sorry. Sorry, Joe.
That's how they know to say sorry.
In big or small ways.
Some women don't know how to say sorry. I know one like that.
Where?
That will tell you sorry, but what you did, I didn't like. Is that sorry? If you say sorry and now continue, you have already spoiled it. I say sorry, but, and I explain why they are not sorry. Like they are just saying it so that to fulfill all right. And no, that's what they say. Be sorry and mean it.
Yeah.
Okay. And one sure way to mean it. One sure way to mean it is don't say sorry for that same thing over and over and over and over and over again. That means you don't mean it.
Yeah.
No matter how nice you say, no matter how you look, if the person has to repeat, if you have to keep saying sorry for that same thing, it means you don't mean it because you haven't changed. Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm saying sorry. In big or small ways, partners step on each other's toes all the time. Okay, so it's very, very important. Having humility and maturity to recognize your role in your partner's pain is essential for long-term relationship. Yeah. So say sorry and mean it. They don't hold grudges. So these are habits that you should practice. We need to learn and practice to sustain our relationship as a married couple.
Someone says you should behave like God. Forgive your partner before they sin. As in already prepare in your mind that no matter what she does, I'm going to forgive her. That way, when they hurt you, you will feel it's okay to be angry. Bible also says angry and sin not. Anger is actually an emotion. And sometimes it's healthy. It's when it becomes destructive that it's unhealthy. So anger is a healthy emotion. Okay? If you don't feel angry, anything, whatever anybody does, you don't feel, it's not a good thing. You should feel angry when someone does what is wrong to you. So anger is an emotion and it's healthy until it crosses the line, then it becomes unhealthy. Just like you say God is a jealous God. When we hear jealousy, we only think about negative. No. I should be jealous. If I have no iota of jealousy when it concerns my wife, something is wrong. I should have a level of jealousy. It's when jealousy becomes destructive. That is why, but it's an emotion that is held that should be there. The same God has for us that makes him guard us, guide us, that made him die just to redeem us. Yes, so anger is what you should feel, but let it go. So prepare ahead. This is my wife. I want to do long term. I'm going to live and die with her. So why should I keep grudges? So I already make up my mind that no matter what she does to me, I'm going to forgive her. I begin to tell that to myself. Say it, keep saying it until it sinks in. You know that when she gets you angry, you will discover that it doesn't last. If she comes and apologizes and says sorry, you're quick to forgive and you don't let it linger. When you hold grudges, it builds bitterness. And when you're bitter against your partner,
learning how to separate issues from the person.
Yeah.
You know, like you're going to have arguments. One thing that can help is learning how to separate the issue. You know, discuss the issue. It's usually not easy. I tell you, even because it's not easy.
True.
A lot of time he's talking, I'm talking. He's talking, I'm talking. It's at that time sometimes it's not easy to say, okay, this is just the issue we're addressing. Because after then, sometimes it's still lingering, and you're, you know. But we learn to separate what's the issue on ground.
Yes. So that you don't focus and bring the person down. Look at the issue, separate them from the person. You know, I also like to say this. You know, a lot of people, you hear a lot of people say, and they say they are Christians, and he's a pastor. No. He's a human being. So deal with him. This is a man, this is a woman. Forget about their faith and their religion at that time. This is human. Deal with the person. What if someone else does it who is not a professing Christian? Would you make that? You know, and then some people who say this, and they also go to church, and I ask them, are you a heathen? Are you an atheist? You're also a Christian. Then a fellow Christian does something to you, and then the first thing you say is, and he say he's a Christian. No. Forget about Christianity. It's not Christianity that did it to you. Someone did something to you, and then he say he's a Christian. It's not the pastoral office. It's a human being that is called pastor that this and that. Then you see, and he say he's a pastor. Yeah, what he professes should show in his character.
Yeah.
But when there are issues, talk about it. Talk about the person. It's not but after all, there are lots of Christians that wouldn't do what he did. There are lots of pastors that wouldn't do what he did. So learn to separate issues from people. And if you do that with your wife, your husband, it will really, really help.
To find little ways to show that, to show they are thinking of each other. Little, it doesn't have to be big things. It can just be shooting them a text message during the work day to thank them for the little things they do for you. It could be something. It could be something that you saw that reminded you of them. Okay, and then it made you smile. So you could just do a text message, just to say, oh, I just saw something. Oh, I just saw this thing. Just made me remember this time we shared, and this time. And then you send that text message. That kind of thing will definitely.
It will just brighten up their day. Okay, so let's begin to conclude. There are some reflections now. If you're watching, you can actually, join in the conversation. What are the little foxes that are stealthily causing damage in our marriage, and how can we get rid of them? So what little fox can you identify that is, when you say stealthily, there are some airplanes that are called stealth fighters. You don't see them coming, so they are just there, just subtly. You don't notice it, but it's gradually they are coming in and they are causing damage in our mind. So if you can think of anyone, whatever, you can just drop it on the comments. What are the little foxes that are stealthily causing damage in our marriage, and how can we deal with them? Okay, so where all these things we're saying, we know that it's going to help you if you practice them. They are not easy. We always acknowledge the fact that things that you haven't been doing over time. For some of you that are already doing it, bravo. But it can always get sweeter. Don't give up on it. Be consistent. Be consistent. That's the word for today. Consistency. Consistent. Because your habits will shape your marriage. So keep the right habits and quit unhealthy habits. Another reflection is, what habits do I need to keep and which one do I need to quit? So that's what you ask yourself. You don't have to post it here. Ask yourself, go and reflect on it. What habits do I need to keep? And what habits do I need to quit? Okay, let me read this scripture now. Galatians 6:9. It's a very popular scripture and it's applicable to what we're saying. It says, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. So when we're consistent in doing good, we will reap the fruit. And I know there's nobody watching us who is married, who wants to get married, that wants to reap a bad marriage. That's a harvest. A good marriage is a harvest. So keep doing good. Keep doing well. Keep being thoughtful of your partner. Keep building the right habits. Keep staying in touch. Keep, affirming one another. Keep encouraging one another. Keep being committed to love them no matter what. Keep being committed to forgive them. Keep doing all of this. That's well-doing. Don't be weary in well-doing. And in due season, you will reap if you faint not. So if you stop halfway and say, I beg, which kind of thing? I've heard some people say, I'll be small boy. No, I'll be playing romance. I'll be small boy. Like, now we have been married for 15 years. Our children are even big. Yeah. It's our children that should be doing boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah. No, some people actually think like that. Very crude. Yesterday I say you shouldn't remain as crude oil. Go through refinery and come out as fuel and kerosene, and don't remain as crude oil.
And please don't stop what you're doing because your reason is he has changed. He will change. I mean, like,
everybody changes.
Yes. You get into marriage and you're two different people. As the years keep going by, things will pop up. Yeah. He won't remain the way where you found him. You just met him. He won't remain that way. You discover so many things. So it's an intentional thing. It's a consistent work. As this comes up, you build the edge to cover this other one. So it won't remain the same.
Yeah.
It won't. There's something here I wanted to bring out from this particular habit that you should build. This habit says spouses, they accept each other's friends and family, imperfections and all. Okay, so maybe your husband has this old friend from somewhere and you accept each other's friends, family and all that. Very good. Okay, but then there's one line I wanted to draw. Okay, so probably there's this particular way, what we're talking about foxes now, those unhealthy habits you probably should check. In as much as we should accept our friends and our family and all that, there should be lines and boundaries we shouldn't cross. And we should be able to understand it. Now you're married, and yes, there are these old friends and old people you used to talk with at certain times of the night. Or you overstretch and it's okay. Now you're married and your partner might actually not be comfortable with it. Or shouldn't you even be concerned that, okay, now you're married, so you should cut down on certain things that might cause issues, something like that?
Yeah, you should.
Right?
Of course, there should be lines.
There should be lines.
Accepting your friends, in-laws, and all of that doesn't mean it has to be hook, line, and sinker. Because some of them can be toxic. Especially when it's a sinful habit, you notice.
Sinful?
Yes.
No, what if it's harmless? Like, you usually say it's harmless. Or they will usually say it's harmless.
No, you have to, it has to be harmless. Harmless is harmless. There are no other ways to define harmless. If it's harmless, it is harmless. Why shouldn't you accept friends and family that
harmless, but I'm saying now it's probably crossing. I don't think I want my husband to be discussing with one friend over the phone because it's harmless at 12 a.m. rather. Like, and they
that's not harmless.
Talking.
That's not harmless.
Yeah, but you say it's harmless.
No, who says?
You say.
Who says it's harmless?
I mean, the spouse is saying it's
harmless. No, but it's not harmless because they say it's harmless. If it, like I say, harmless has only one definition.
Yeah, but I mean, harmless in terms of, I can actually show you, you can actually listen on our conversation.
What makes it harmless is not the content of the discussion. Okay, so that's not the right time. It's not harmless that I'm talking to a friend, even if it's a relative at 12 a.m. when we should be sleeping, when we should be there. Of course, it will build suspicion. So it's no longer harmless. It's not harmless because I said. I could be lying. If it's harmless, then it's harmless. There's only one definition of harmless. If it is harmless, it is truly harmless. Not when I'm talking at an unholy hour. Okay. You see what it's called? It's called unholy hour.
Or maybe it's not even an unholy hour, but it's a regular. This friend is a regular. Just like when you were talking about the story with the pastor. So it felt like harmless from the beginning. But it now became very regular. Oh, you can even listen on our conversation. It's regular. It is harmless and all that. But it's too much. Now I should accept it because I'm your spouse, but instead I'm getting uncomfortable.
And then it's no longer harmless. Like you said, it's too much. I can't be in touch with someone who is not my spouse so regularly. It's not work. Except it's office I do and I meet you every day, of course. But that I'm talking to you, maybe my pastor or whoever you are, and we have to do it every day, every day. What are we talking about? I'm not a pastor's counselor. I'm not a pastor's whatever. Even his mentors, he doesn't call them that. He doesn't. No. That's kind of affection. No matter how harmless the content of the discussion is, should be between spouses and not shared to other people. It's not. Yeah, that's what I mean. So harmless is harmless. Harmful is harmful. If you're doing the right thing at the wrong time, it's not harmless. It's harmful. So yeah, we have to do it right. So what were we talking about before we got into accepting each other's friends, accepting in-laws? Yeah, like I was trying to say, accepting it must be conditional. If your spouse has friends that tend to make them misbehave, no, you can't accept such friends. Whenever they go out with these particular friends, they come back and they're drunk, or they come back and you know that they have been in wrong company. If the company is wrong, you have to voice it out. In as much as you accept them, this is where they come from. But of course, what things that will lead to sin, they have to cut off from it and all of that. So it's already time is up already. So we hope you were blessed today. We have to remind you, this is what we're doing for the whole of April. We started on the 1st on Instagram, and then we're going to end on the 30th of April. We are thinking of coming up with a physical meeting on the 1st of May. We haven't decided yet, but it's going to be something exciting if we decide to do it. So you can follow us on @Afi_Aiba on Instagram. But we're really thinking, because of the participation on Facebook,
and some people want the videos saved,
and then the Facebook saves the video so that we can edit it, we can share it. We're thinking of moving this whole thing to Facebook. Okay, so to Facebook, if you invite other people to, my own is full, but I can use my page, my fan page. If not, my personal Facebook page is full, 5,000. And then plenty followers. So we're going to move it to Facebook so that more people can participate, so that people can comment, and most importantly, we can save the videos and share for other people to be blessed by it. This was an instruction God gave us after we celebrated 9 years of marriage. He instructed us to have devotion for 1 month, love and devotion between us, to improve the health of our marriage. And then he also inspired us not just to share between ourselves, but to share with everyone else. So this is should be private devotion that we're doing. As we're sharing it, we're actually doing it. We don't rehearse it before we come here. We're having it now, so that we're having it. We're being blessed by it. So God instructed us to do it and then to share with others. So we believe as we go through this process, someone is going to be blessed. We know that at the end of this, we're going to get testimonies of marriages that have been saved, marriages that are at the edge of breakup, but they have been saved, marriages that were just getting by, but now it's sweet.
We're even getting messages. People are sending messages.
From everywhere in the world. So testimonies are already rolling in, and don't take it for granted. We may not be experts at marriage counseling and all that. We have just done 9 years and we're still working. In 9 years, we have seen heaven ahead, and God kept us.
Why do you keep saying that?
My God, 9 years. I don't believe it. God has really helped us, and whatever we're sharing, we're being real. We know that this will bless someone, this will help someone heal. So please don't take things for granted. If you can find the other videos, go watch them. Many of the things you already know, but endeavor to practice them. Bring back the spark to your marriage, and God will really bless you. We're just going to share a prayer you pray tonight, and then we'll be off. Hope to see you again tomorrow, same time. It's 9 p.m. to 9:45 every day till the 30th of April. So do join us, same time, same station, tomorrow. Pray for
Not
us.
same station.
The same station. Your page is the station.
Oh, really? We're not going back to Instagram.
No, we're here. We're staying on Facebook. I have decided to stay on Facebook, so we're staying. We'll go and tell Instagram people that they should come on Facebook. All right, say a prayer.
Father, thank you for this time that we've shared together.
Yes.
Thank you even for the topic we discussed today. We ask that you would enable us by your grace to build healthy habits, habits that will make us enjoy our marriage the way that you have intended for this from the beginning. We thank you, Father, for grace is available. We thank you, Father, Lord, for there is restoration, there is peace, there is healing for every home, for even our home. We thank you, Father, for the bond that is growing. Thank you for intimacy that we are developing. Thank you for these habits, Lord. As we practice it, thank you because our home will become sweeter. Our relationship will become even richer in the name of Jesus. Be thou exalted, Lord. In Jesus' name we have prayed.
Amen.
Amen.
God bless you.
Bless you.
See you again tomorrow. Don't forget, watch the game. Drop your comments.
Share.
Inbox questions. You want us to talk about any issues? We can help a bit, and if we can't, we can refer to. We know some really solid people that can help if you have any issues. So please feel free. We're your brother and sister. We love you. Jesus loves you more. See you tomorrow.